are going to talk about some protein macros on keto and carnivore because I think you guys are eating too much. I think so. So I was looking at my chicken thighs already cooked in the refrigerator. I was like, oh, this is a great video idea to show you the size. So I always say this is about 4 ounces, the palm of your hand. And then the inner palm is about 3 ounces measured cooked, or 3 fingers over the meat. Okay. So right here, I have some chicken thighs, right? This one, you see that? That one is about 4 ounces, and the smaller one is about 3. And I'm going to get my hands really gross right now, so let's take the palm check. Let's do the palm check. Yep, 4 ounces. You guys got that? And let's do the inner side. 3. So it doesn't cover the whole palm. Now, how much? Believe it or not, eating around 4 ounces measured cooked starts at 5 ounces raw, palm size, and then it cooks down to whatever size. So if you're doing 4 ounces, it cooks down to 3. If you're doing 5 ounces, it cooks down to 4. Now, with those who've got muscles and you have good GLUT4 receptor development, you can clear out that excess glucose from protein, too much protein, and use it, like me. I have no problem I'm 5'3". I can do 3 ounces measured cooked, or 4. But a lot of people are very protein sensitive, and that happens when they have poor digestion, they have low stomach acid, they have a difficulty in breaking down proteins in the digestive tract. Some people eat too fast and they're just gobbling big chunks of protein. The body doesn't fully digest it in the stomach. So by the time it hits the bloodstream, you're getting large amounts of protein that the body cannot utilize as protein, so it converts into glucose. That's why a lot of people who use glucometers check their blood sugar and they'll see a spike in their blood sugar. These are just some of the reasons why. So if you think about it, hunter-gatherers, right, they would either go through feast or famine. Well, we're never starving. Let's just keep it real. And we've got really poor digestive systems. And that's why I'm saying that 2 pounds of beef is ridiculous. That's like this whole thing. That's like a pound of beef a day. And people are doing 2 pounds of beef. That's pretty much filling this whole container to the very top and trying to stuff that down your body the whole day. And people don't have the digestive equipment or the ability to use all those amino acids for energy. So what doesn't get used gets converted into glucose and blocks that keto adaptation. Now, are the macros for protein different between keto, omnivore with plants, and carnivore, strict? No, it's exactly the same, because both diets are going to be very, very high fat. And that's how we have ketosis. And don't damage our regulatory systems like our adrenal system, our thyroid system, and our reproductive system. And of course, our insulin and glucagon system. That's the problem with people, is that people who eat too fast or have hypochlorhydria and too low stomach acid, and they're eating it fast, and their body doesn't have good, strong digestive equipment like the gallbladder, if there's fat, which there is on a chicken thigh, for example, then what the body can't use, it doesn't use, and it converts back into glucose. Stress with the gallbladder can make your body convert things back into glucose through gluconeogenesis. It's the same thing with the protein. So essentially, it's the same. Women, you really don't need to go higher than the larger size of the chicken breasts. The smaller size right there, let's see if I can keep them balanced. So this is the 4 ounce, this is the 3 ounce. And in grams, 4 ounces is about 115 grams. And in grams for 3 ounces, it's about 85-ish. And we're also factoring the bone here with chicken. chicken has an omega-3 fat, and it's a bit easier to digest than beef. So a little bit more protein in the chicken than in beef because there's more fat. Now, with that said, women should eat, and it depends on your size. I'm 5'3", so it can be between 45, this is per day, 45 and 60 grams of protein per day if you're not taller than, let's say, 5'7" to 5'9". If you're 5'9" and taller and you're not active, then your protein requirement is going to be lower. If you've got hypochlorhydria and severe issues with your digestive system, you're not going to need all that protein. What you really need is fat. That's the most important macro of all time because it has vitamins, vitamin D, E, A, and K. Protein has protein. The fat has a lot more. Well, protein does have a good source of potassium, but not enough because our gut walls are leaking. We've got leaky gut. People end up having issues with eating too much protein. They might have gout symptoms and may not realize it with the purines and the uric acid, poor kidney function. People who are chronically dehydrated, who try to eat a whole bowl of this per day, which is about 2 pounds, end up having issues with their kidneys because you need fluid and water and not to be dried out and dehydrated to be able to filter through some of those purines and uric acid. And that is why it's so dangerous to eat so much protein just for that one reason. A lot of you guys don't chew slow. A lot of you guys have issues with leaky gut. A lot of you guys have issues with your stomach acid. And we just can't use all that protein. The factory can't just chew it, digest it, and get it into the muscle cells so they can grow that easily. So people often will use protein because they're too much protein because they're afraid of fat. Or they have a gallbladder issue and they feel sick on fat. And so they just start stuffing protein down on low carb. Is going to damage your thyroid or your adrenal system. Now that was my little quickie on protein. I'm going to do a lot more on the macros. There's no difference because both of these ketogenic, it doesn't really matter. Low carb, high fat, because low carb, high fat, you're still going to have at least about 100 to 120 grams of fat per day when you're still eating starch on low carb. Protein's not going to go higher because you're still going to be higher in fat. Ketogenic fats should always start at 200. You're just not going to get enough fat on the cut meats, the cuts of meat itself, unless you're having like pork jowl or pork belly or something like that. And we want to diversify our foods and not just eat pork, the fattiest bits of pork. Thymus is really good too, but that's good for DAO. Now I gotta go. Enjoy my day with thunder. This is a quickie about the protein. Please, guys, men too. Men want to keep their protein between 60 and about 100, but really I say 65 and 95. And it really depends on your height, your training, and your muscle mass, lean muscle, in comparison to your fat and sirens. But soon no more sirens. Just going to be crickets and lovely nature sounds very soon. Yeah, you guys are going to see. I hope that makes sense, you guys. We really, really want to be careful not to have too much protein because it will spike your blood sugar via gluconeogenesis. It'll use it for energy, for glucose. And if you guys have a blood sugar dysregulation, and I've worked with so many thousands of clients over the years, I know point blank, period, facts, that too much protein spikes your blood sugar. So get a glucometer, test all day long, not just fasted, and you will see. Okay, now it's time to enjoy this beautiful California day while I can. Yes. So again, for men, it's going to be depending on how heavy you lift. If you're an athlete, endurance athlete, if you have hypochlorhydria or not, issues with certain meats as far as the uric acid, it really depends. Your GFR, your kidney filtration rate. All of this matters. Don't listen to people just give you these really stupid numbers and, per gram, per kilo, per body weight, per kilo, or per pound. You can't do an estimate of your protein amount via number, even by your size, because you may not have the digestive equipment to even break down the protein. Facts. Be careful, guys. I'm not kidding. Don't mess with this stuff. A lot of these gurus don't work with as many clients as I've over the years, and I'm kind of a stickler, if you haven't noticed. So if I'm just saying yes to everybody, like, yes, it's fine, and yes, everything's okay, and yes, eat a lot of meat, and don't eat fat, and yes, you won't get an objective understanding of how different kinds of people, different bodies, different digestive issues, or different health issues like a low stomach acid or kidney issues, or people with gout, or people with sensitivities or histamine intolerance will do with certain types of meat, or people with gallbladder issue. Instead of giving these general numbers for everyone, it just doesn't work. But I just wanted to give you an eyeball of the protein size. And my favorite protein is not chicken. It's liver from cows. Peace. Oh, if you guys want to learn more, you can go to my course, stephanieperson.com, where I cover all the diets: low carb, high fat, keto, omnivore, carnivore, and don't do carnivore for long because it'll frack you up. And I've come to understand that it's very easy to understand. And I will go more in depth of why carnivore for the long term doesn't work. And people who've done it, who say they've done it for 15 years, they're not being honest. Isn't that a thought? I'm just saying. Nobody's fabulous all the time. I've been saying that all along. We all have bad days and difficult times. Yeah. And people don't talk about it because you don't get clicks, views, and people loving you and buying products when you tell the truth, unfortunately. Well, no, you don't. If you tell the truth, well, actually, you could get clicks and views and loves if it were the real truth. But they think they won't get the love and the clicks and the views and the purchases if they tell the truth. That's what they think. But you can. Right, guys? All right, now I gotta go. Because I got some energy. At 53, loving the life of keto. Never going to go back to the sad diet or starches or sugars. Gonna love my horse. And I'm out. Oh, my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic and Facebook is Stephanie the Business.